Are you looking for a new home design that gives you plenty of room for storage, furniture, and building equipment, but also looks good? Well, you clicked on the right video because that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. This house is going to look so good, it's going to warm your cold and tired Viking heart every time you return to it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamestar. My name is Rob, and today I'm going to share a design with you that's easy to replicate, even in survival, and is going to look super good. Now, nobody likes a bunch of talking early on, I know. But I do have 3 things I want to go over real quick, but I promise to be brief. First off, this is technically a follow-up video to my previous guide, Building Better with Stone, in which I walk you through the basics of working with stone and show you how to make simple, good-looking stone buildings. If you're new to working with stone, I recommend you check that video out as well. I'll make it easy for you with links below. In this video, I'm going to assume that you either know how to work with stone already, or you're confident you can catch on and keep up. Second, I'll be using mods in this video to give you the best camera angle and speed things along for myself, but you can easily build this house in survival mode once you've reached the swamps and found iron. If you need help with that, I have a guide on that as well. You'll find it with the others. And finally, I'll have the different build segments timestamped below in case you just want to watch a particular part. But if you have the time, I'd recommend you watch the whole thing, because you don't know what you don't know, and you just might learn something new. But that's pretty much all I got for you though, so if you're ready, well, let's get right into it. So we're starting this build off with a solid foundation of 2-meter stone floors running 7 tiles wide by 11 tiles long, or basically 14 meters wide by 22 meters long. If that's more stone than you want to collect, you can keep it hollow and build wooden floors in the center, but today we'll spare no expense. Alright, now the first thing I like to do is decide what doors I want and where to put them. And for this build, I want to use double doors in the center, but because we're using 2-meter blocks and an odd amount of them, it's not quite lining up correctly. So to fix this, we'll just grab 2-meter stone blocks and start them long ways on the sides, and then just rotate and bring them inwards. And that pushes the stones in by 1 meter on each sides, and there we go. Perfect spot for the double doors. So we're gonna put them on the inside of the build, and then we're gonna go back to the 2-meter stone blocks, and we're just gonna wrap it all the way around the build. We're actually gonna do that for 4 layers. I always recommend to bring the wall up at least as high as the door, but in this case, we're gonna go 1 layer higher, and then just butt up smoothly with 1-meter blocks right up against the doors. Make sure to overlap the blocks on each layer. Now I'm doing this build in a way that's easy to understand, or at least that's my goal, so I'm doing things a little less efficient than you'll be able to. To save time and stone, you can also decide where you want the windows ahead of time and build around them. For this build though, we're gonna separate each step, so just stick with me. Once we have our 4 layers of stone blocks stacked all the way around and butted smooth to the door, we're gonna grab the stone arch and hang it right over the doors, flat side to the wall, then rotate and flat side to the other wall, just like that. Now we're gonna grab the 1-meter iron cage walls and run them across the inside of the arches, running alongside the iron doors themselves to kind of fill in this gap. All right, let's go ahead and knock out a spot for the back door that's 3 meters tall, starting from the bottom. So we'll remove the bottom 3 layers and cap them with a single block on the sides. And we'll leave the top layer alone. Now we'll pop in a single iron door on the inside wall and a wood gate for the outside. Okay, time to place the chimney. We want to center it, but it won't line up with our snap points. So we're gonna grab a 1-meter block and connect it from the center, which will give us a new snap point where we need it. It doesn't really matter which one or which direction you face it, as long as it's starting from the center block and facing towards either the front or the back of the build. Just long ways, basically. So now with a new snap point created by our beam, we can slap down 2 stone floors right in the center of the build. Make sure it's even on both sides. Now that those are in place, we can smash out the walls in between these stones, like so. Then we're gonna grab the 2-meter stone blocks and follow the current stone wall pattern all the way around the new floor tiles and all the way up the 4 layers of wall we already have built. There we go, just like that. Let's take a look from the other side to make sure everything looks right. Okay, looks good. Time to decide on our window placement. We'll be making portals or window holes that are 2 meters wide and are at least 1 meter in from the inner wall, as this tends to always look better. We're also going to keep these windows symmetrical for this build. We're going to make 1 window on each side of the fireplace, and then 3 windows on the opposite side of the building. Now remove layers 2 through 4, leaving the first layer on the bottom alone. And then we'll fill in 1 meter blocks to flush it up. just like this. Good, let's have a quick look from different sides. Everything looks great. We'll eventually decide on front and rear windows. We'll decide on those later once we see how the build's looking near complete. Let's go ahead and arch the windows. Just remember to put the wide side to the wall. It's easiest to do that all the way around. And then spin it 180 degrees and place the wide side to the other side, sloping into the center and all the way around. All right, moving to some detail, we're gonna grab the 1 meter wood floor tile and rotate it so it's facing the same direction as the wall, long ways. And then we're gonna place 2 down in each windowsill, 1 right next to the other. Great. Now we're gonna grab the 2 meter wood beam and using alternative placement, we're gonna move it up flush with the floor tiles we just laid down. And then taking a tip from one of the commenters of last video, to line all these up, just run the beams straight across from there. And they'll be the exact same height with all the windowsills, and then just break off the beams in between, and you have perfect placement. Okay, we're just gonna do it on the other side real quick. And now for an extra touch, not entirely necessary, but this makes a huge difference. We're gonna grab a 1 meter wood wall, and then spin it so the little sideboard is facing in, and the smooth side is facing out. And we're gonna put that on the inside, top and bottom of each window, all the way around. Then we're gonna grab the wood shutters, and starting from the top, just to make sure we get the right snap point, we're gonna put those top bottom on each side of each window. Just like this. Okay, now I've actually popped all the shutters open so we can see, and we're gonna move to the inside. So once inside, grab the wood half wall, rotate it so the smooth side is facing in and that horizontal board is facing out, and then place it at the top and the bottom of the windows. We want all the windows to match. Then we're gonna grab the wood pole 2 meter, we're gonna rotate it twice so it makes like this diamond shape, and then we're gonna start all the way at the top, right to the bottom. Again, on each window, all the way around. And this is gonna make the window really look like it belongs. It's gonna merge the window with the stone wall in a way that looks intentional. And I think it looks really good. This part, optional, I guess all this is, but we're gonna grab a 2 meter wood beam and we're just gonna put top and bottom of the inside of the window. And it just kind of finishes the look, at least in my opinion. Now switching to the 2 meter wood pole, we're just gonna run up some poles right along the side of both the front door and the back door. We'll also run one long ways, little beam. Okay, we're gonna take the same beam and starting in the corner of the inside, we're just gonna wrap it all the way around. We're just gonna trim the top of the inside. We can go ahead and skip over the chimney spot for now. Just leave it kind of open over there. We'll finish it once we get the fireplace done. Just like that, and again, just leaving the fireplace open for now. Perfect. Now also a completely unnecessary step, but I think it just makes everything just a little bit more detailed. I like to run wood trim across the bottom of the wall all the way around as well. So we just take those same 2 meter wood beams, we just wrap those all the way around the inside against the floor. Okay, and then we're gonna move to the outside rim and we're just gonna wrap that in 2 meter beams all the way around as well. When you get to the chimney, you can just switch to 1 meter beams. That is what we call perfect. We want it to look just like that. Let's go ahead and get this fireplace taken care of. So we're gonna grab the stone arch. We're gonna bring it up to the top of our little fireplace gap here. And then we're gonna move it over by 1 meter. We're gonna inset it 1 meter on both sides so it'll overlap like this. Then just grab the stone pillars and run 2 up each side until they meet the arch at the top. We're gonna go ahead and finish up the trim on the bottom with our wood beams, just to the front of the pillars. just like this. Okay, then we're gonna grab the 1 meter cage wall, and then right here where the fireplace begins, we're just gonna run it right across the bottom. Then you can choose whether you want to use a campfire or an iron fire pit. But take whichever one you prefer and just put it right on the other side of the iron cage. There we go. Excellent. Fireplace is ready. Let's move to the chimney. This is gonna be really simple. We're just gonna take 2 meter stone blocks and we're just gonna wrap them all the way around. You can go as high as you'd like, but for this build, we're gonna go additional 5 meters up. So it's gonna be a 9 meter chimney altogether, or 9 layers of stone. Okay, once we have our chimney built, we have our 9 layers of stone. We're just gonna switch back to the 2 meter wood poles, and we're gonna run boards right down the side of the doors on the outside, as well as the corners of the building. With the wood beams, we're gonna do the same thing across the bottom. We're gonna run beams across the bottom, just like that. And then we're just gonna continue this all the way around the house. Right where the stone floors meet the stone walls, we're just gonna run a beam right across. And then anywhere that the stone kind of ends or is sticking out, we're just gonna trim it with wood poles. And this is really gonna help give the building depth. It's gonna make it seem a lot more solid, and it'll just bring it to life. Now you could just connect stone stairs right to your stone floors and then trim it with the 26-degree wall beams. All right, now that's gonna help me visualize things for what I'm doing next, but we're gonna ultimately build like a deck in the front of the house. But early on, if you're short on materials or you just don't want a deck, this is really a simple solution that still looks kind of nice. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and put the windows in now, front and back. Since we've already gone over this step, I'm not gonna waste your time showing you it again. I'll just speed through this. Okay, and now for the roof, we're gonna grab 1 meter wood beam and stick it straight at the side of the build, and then rotate it 90 degrees and face it towards the front. Then do the same thing in the back, only when you rotate it facing back. So out and then back. Now we're gonna move over to the sides here, rotate it, and then just every 2 meters, just slap in a 1 meter beam sticking straight out of the side. Of course, we're gonna do that on both sides. As long as you just follow your 2 meter markers, they'll fall right in place. Now we're gonna switch back to the 2 meter beams, and we're just gonna run those right down the side of the house, parallel with the wall. Switch to the 1 meter when you get to the chimney, and then 2 meters all the way down the other side. All right, let's take a look at it. It's looking great. All right, now is where the magic happens. We're gonna start off by grabbing the wood wall 45 degrees. We're gonna rotate it so it's running parallel with the front of the house. And then we're gonna push it out to the end of our wooden brace. Slap it in, rotate it, same on the other side. All the way out. But then we're gonna push in to the inside of the wall, and right where a corner is for the inside, we're gonna put another one right there. All right, then we're just gonna run these all the way up, one on top of the other, until they connect at the top. Now same thing with our inside beam. Yep. All the way up, perfect. Now, we're gonna grab the inverted version of it, the wood wall 45 degree inverted, and we're just gonna bring a nice smooth parallel beam right up with it. All right, excellent. Now, similar on the inside, but a little bit different. So we're gonna start at the top the same, and bring this in 45 degree inverted down. Then we're gonna switch over to the standard 45 degree, and right here, just kind of make a diamond shape, like that. All right, then grab a 2 meter wall, rotate it so smooth as on the outside, and just fill in the gaps. Super optional, but if you take these 1 meter wood beams, rotate them, and then everywhere you can, with a snap point between these two roof braces, just pop in a 1 meter beam. Not necessary, but it's gonna give it just a little bit of extra look for anybody who's really looking at the detail. All right, we're gonna do the same thing in the back. I'll go ahead and show you again just to make sure we get it right. So the inside to the inside, outside to the outside. Like that and that. And then all the way up. Same on the inside. Just like we did in the front. Okay, then we grab the inverted version. Everywhere is squared. We're gonna smooth it right up. And then when you place the inner ones here, it's the perfect one to switch over to the 45 degree and make it a little diamond shape. And then we just fill in with the 2 meter walls, just like that. Let's put our braces in real quick. Excellent. Okay, it's coming together really fast now. We're getting there. We're getting there quick. Now we're gonna grab our shingles or whatever roof tile you want. And then if you just stare at this beam, it'll snap right in place. Just run your cursor right at the center beam, just like this. Okay, same thing other side. Just make sure that it is completely out as far as you can on the brace. And then we'll just bring them right up the side, right up to the chimney, both sides, and all the way up. A little fast forward action. This will create a small gap between the inside of the chimney and the roof. To fix this, just slide your shingle from the top of the chimney right down into it, and it snaps right in place. Do it for both tiles, and you're golden. And now on the other side, opposite the chimney, we're gonna start similar. We're gonna run shingles right up our 45 degree walls, both sides. Then we're gonna run the shingles all the way across the bottom. We refer to this as layer 1. The next will be layer 2, so on and so forth. So on layer 2, we're actually gonna bring the shingles in 4 tiles wide on each side. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now same thing on the third layer. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the top all the way across. So top and bottom all the way across. Layer 2 and 3, just 4 on each side. Just like this. Okay, now I just want to jump to the front real quick and get the detailing done. That way, once we're done with this roof part, the house is really gonna pop. So for the front trim, we're just grabbing the 45 degree wood beams. We're running those up the side. If you like the Valheim X, put it in before you cover those tiles up with the beams. I like a double X, so if I just stare at the front of the house here and move up, it just falls right in place. And then I put that second one in the face. There we go. Same on the back. And then we just fill the rest with beams again. And then repeat that in the back. Okay, and then personally, I also like to run 2 meter beams all the way across the top of the roof. And because it's sharing the space with the roof tile, it'll take on the properties of the roof tile and it won't weather or rot. Okay, coming back to our big gaping hole in the roof. On layer 3, we're gonna add an extra tile or an extra shingle on each side. So the top will be all the way across, the bottom will be all the way across. Layer 2 will be 4 wide, and layer 3 will be 5 wide. Now we're gonna grab a shingle roof inner corner 45 degrees, and this is real important to get this part right. You're gonna have to really look to make sure you got it rotated correctly. But you should be able to rotate it so the side of it is parallel with the roof tile and will connect right into it. Then we rotate the other side. We do the exact same thing. And you'll know if you did it right as soon as you connect these pieces. Okay, so it should just diagonally come up the roof there. Then we just grab another shingle, just a normal 45-degree shingle, and we bring it straight out off the top one and just connect them. Perfect. Okay, then we're going to add the X to the top of that little peak. And then grab the wood wall 45-degree. Start right at the bottom. Should snap right in place. Bring it up till it connects. Yup. Okay, and then the 1 meter wood wall, one stacked on top of the other, with smooth side facing out on both sides of the gap. Okay, and then we're gonna grab wooden shutters, slap those on both sides. Totally optional, but I like a little 2 meter beam across the top. Let's take a look. It's looking great. We're almost done. A little more detail. So for the windows, decorate any way you'd like. It looks pretty nice to use dividers or even crystal walls to make windows, but either of these options are gonna render the shutters almost useless. I mean, other than just looks, you won't be able to open and close them anymore from the inside. What I prefer to do is just grab a 2 meter pole, rotate it twice to get that diamond shape, and slap it right in the center of each window all the way around. This will prevent monster attacks from the outside. It'll still make it look like a window, and it'll still give you complete access to the shutters. Now for an extra touch, up here on the roof window, with alternative placement, we can just lay down a second layer of trim, and once we snap it in place, all the snap points just kind of fall into place as well. And that little bit will make a big difference. Now for the front, we're gonna use the dark wood gates. It's really gonna set it off. And then up here in our diamond window, I really love the ashwood decorative walls. Just slap 4 of them in, but you can use dividers or glass or whatever you want. Now we need to quickly make a back patio. So we just grab a 2 meter stone floor, slam it right under the door, grab 3 stairs, face them off in each direction. Then grab a 1 meter stone block and cram it right here between the 2 stairs on each side. And then light it however you like. For this build, we're gonna take the standing iron torch and just place it right in the center of each of those blocks. Perfect. And then for the diamond window, we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did in the front. We're gonna use the ashwood decorative walls. And now it's time to actually build our deck. So just right under each door, start the stone floors, and then run them 2 more on each side for a total of 6 across the front. Then for the 2 in the center, we'll just attach stone stairs to it. Then we're gonna switch to the wood beam 26 degree and attach to each side of the stone stairs. Now just some quick railing. We'll start it off with the 1 meter pole right where the stairs are. And then switch to the wood beam 26 degrees and just kind of rotate it like this. And it should just snap all the way around. Just keep rotating so you have the exact opposite of the last attachment. Same thing on the other side. I can get it to snap. Okay, and then unnecessary, but I think it just gives it a little bit more touch. We're gonna put a little 2 meter pole on each side. Great. All right, let's take care of that chimney. So at the top, we're just gonna wrap 2 meter beams all the way around the inside of the chimney. Okay, and then just for a little decoration, we're gonna grab the dark wood beam 4 meters and wrap it on the outside of the chimney. And then we need 4 2-meter wood poles, 1 in each corner on the inside of the chimney. We're gonna grab some dark wood beams across the side. A nice shingle roof tile with the same pitch as the roof itself. We'll slap some wood crosses on each side of that, and then on to detailing the bottom part. Obviously, this is completely up to you how you want to do it. I'm just gonna grab some dark wood beams here. Just kind of wrap them around the roof trim and right around the foundation. And then I do think less is more, so we're just gonna grab the standard wood poles to trim the edges. For a little X design, we're gonna grab the wood beam 45 degrees, put one in each corner facing towards the center. We'll bring some wood poles up to the top. Good. Let's do it in the back here, just because I'm a perfectionist. Awesome. Okay, then a little bit of extra trim on the outside on both sides. Again, we're just gonna use the 4-meter dark wood poles, and we're just gonna put them about 2 meters away from each window. Yep. And then to the inside, let's go ahead and finish the fireplace. We need to go ahead and grab 1 more stone pillar on each side. I shorted this earlier. And then we're gonna take the wood pole and just trim the whole thing. Trim it across the top. And even these little pieces up here. Great. Now down here is up to you. I always like to just have a little sitting throne in front of the fire. So we just angle these here, put a 1 meter on each side, grab our throne, slap that down. We need a rug. I like the wolf rugs because the coloration also kind of looks like where dirt from your boots would have built up. It just looks realistic to me. And now we're gonna grab these 45-degree beams for the corner. Now look, you could call it done there, but while we're here, we're just gonna go ahead and throw some banners up too. Awesome. Guys, we are done. Let's take a look. It looks pretty good, if I may say so myself. If you made it this far in the video, I sincerely appreciate it. It took me a long time to do this, longer than I expected, so I really hope it serves you well. I'll put links that I think will be helpful below. I appreciate hanging out with me today. Look forward to seeing you again. Until then, take care. Love you all. See ya!